Good evening to you too,
Good
Ma.
evening.
We're so glad to have you here.
Thank
Oh,
you.
all right. Thank you very much. So before we begin, I would like us to quickly take the opening address from the one and only 001 of SP Lasso, Mr. President, in person of Sylvester Agose. Sylvester, please give us the welcome address.
All right, thank you very much for that one, Pamela. And good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, all right. It's so nice to hear our voices again. It's so nice to share this digital space with everyone again. So, on behalf of SP Lagos State University Student Chapter, I want to welcome every single one of us to today's Engineering Mentorship Masterclass on career guidance from industry to from an industry professional rather. And I am deeply honored to have every single one of you join this session this evening, right? Because we've gathered here together to learn, to connect, and to grow together, right? So whether you're joining us from campus or whether you're still at home enjoying mommy's rice and chicken, or whether you're in a different state in Nigeria or a different country in Africa or around the world, I want to thank you for making out time to invest in your professional development, right? And tonight's session, as usual, promises to be both insightful and transformative, right? And we have the privilege of learning directly from an industry practitioner who is currently actively shaping the engineering landscape as a whole, right? And her experiences, perspectives, and guidance in general would help us build the clarity, the competence, and the confidence that we need to navigate our careers successfully, right? So to our speaker, I want to say a very big thank you for sharing your time, your expertise and your wisdom with us, and your willingness to mentor us, the next generation of engineers, is truly, truly appreciated. And as we begin, I want to encourage everybody to engage actively, right? To engage actively, to ask questions, and to basically make the most of this unique opportunity that we have to learn from those who have walked the path before us, right? So once again, I want to welcome everybody to this masterclass. And yeah, let's make this evening count. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. President. Thank you very much for that. As Mr. President has said, please take a pen, a paper, or if it's a book that is comfortable with you, a tablet, laptop. Make sure you are scribbling down as our professional is going to be speaking to us today. Next, I'll be taking the safety brief. So please let's pay attention as I take this safety brief. First things first, make sure you mute your mic when you are not speaking. When you're not called upon to speak, please make sure your mic is muted at all times. Next, raise your hand to speak. If you look down at your screen below, you will see a virtual hand. Make sure you utilize that if you have a question or you want to make a contribution. Next, if you have a question that cannot wait till the question and answer session, you can simply drop it in the chat box below, and I'll be sure to call on you when the time is right. Next, ensure you can still hear the fire alarm with your headset. Make sure your ears are not so blocked that you're not aware of your surroundings. Next, always stay safe. Do not stay in a compromising position. Do not stay in a space that can put you in danger. And lastly, be at alert and aware and maintain a good sitting posture. Do not slouch, do not bend over, do not assume any posture or position that can harm your back. So thank you all so much as you take on these safety tips. Now, on to the next. As I said earlier, okay, no, it's not time for the question and answer session, please. Yes, I was saying earlier that today's theme is Engineering Mentorship Masterclass, career guidance from industry professionals. Now, who is the industry professional that will be taking us today? Let us be attentive as I read Miss Michal Ezeh's biography. Michal Ezeh is a graduate of petroleum and gas engineering from the University of Lagos. Um, Please excuse the noise in the background if you can hear it. Michal Ezeh is a graduate of petroleum and gas engineering from the University of Lagos. During her time as a student, she served as an executive member of both SPE and SWE, University of Lagos students chapters, where she actively contributed to technical programs, outreach activities, and student mentorship. Michal is passionate about the energy industry and inspired to leverage data-driven methodologies to innovate and optimize processes across the sector. She currently serves as the technical lead for the SPE Lagos section youth professionals, where she supports technical programs and professional development initiatives. Michal also works with the Energy and Environment Competence Center at AHK Nigeria as a project assistant, contributing to energy and sustainability projects outside of work. She enjoys volunteering, reading, and spending time with friends. Please, if your fingers are not too busy, please put your virtual hands together for Miss Michal Ezeh. All right. Miss Michal, are you on the call with us?
Yes, I'm currently on the call. Good evening. Um,
All right. Good
I
evening
was so
to you too,
surprised
ma.
when, thank you. I was so surprised when you
Yes.
were reading the bio. I was like, oh, is that me? Wow, I never thought about all of that, but it's nice. And they just permit me to just switch on my camera for a while, just for everyone to give a face to the name. And the pronunciation for my name is Michael Ezeh, and it's really
I
nice to join.
apologize.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It's really nice to join SP Last Student chapter this evening and to just share my 2 cents all about mentorship, career guidance, and all of that. It's it's not even so long. It feels like yesterday when I just left school and then coming in to share ideas or share my own learnings from the industry in terms of mentorship. It really feels amazing. So thank you very much, SP Lassa, for having me.
I'm sorry, ma. Do you have internet connection issues or hello? Can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. All right, thank you, Miss Michael. Okay. I think she's experiencing some internet issues. I think we're just going to have to wait a bit till she's here.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Michael.
Apologies for that. I'm sorry. Please, can you all confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now, loud and clear.
Thank you. I guess this is a sign or a signal for me to actually get Starlink. I think I've been missing on that, but thanks to MTN for that. So like I was earlier saying, it's actually really nice to come to talk on mentorship masterclass. And I think this is really a very critical topic at this moment, whereby most of us would end up would be graduating very soon. For others, we are trying to like move up to other levels. So trying to have an understanding on where you need clarity in the next journey of your life is very important. And I'm really glad that the format for today's program is not the regular me coming to share slides, talk about what mentorship is all about, career guidance. I think those are the things in which anybody can literally make use of Google or any of these AI tools to get the definition of that. And I'm really glad that this is like a fireside chat whereby I really share my insights, really share the happening to understand how I was able to navigate through the whole space to be able to get to where I am today. So I'm really delighted to be here. And yes, thank you once again for having me. I think Favor, you have the floor now.
Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Michael. I think we're just going to jump right into it. You know, the topic is on engineering mentorship masterclass. Many students do not know where the mentorship is going to come from or how they're going to fit it into their pursuit of the engineering profession. So my first question is, what role did mentorship play in your career, and how can students actively seek meaningful mentors? What role did mentorship play in your career, and how can students actively seek meaningful mentors?
Okay, thank you very much, Favor. So firstly, what role did mentorship play in my career, and how can students actively seek meaningful mentors? I think where I would start from first is the year of my graduation, or even prior to that. So I finished 2024. That is just like 2 years, 2 years ago. Yes, it's not even up to 2 years, because I think I wrote my final papers August and I resumed work August. So after writing final papers Friday and signing out, I resumed work on Monday. So you can see the transition for me was so fast, so quick, and it's not every day you get to see things like this. So firstly, what did mentorship play in my career? I'll start as my career as a student, because I feel that is really a 9 to 5 job for everyone. It's not easy waking up, coming to classes, trying to be active in classes. And also, firstly, mentorship started when I was in school. I gained admission into the University of Lagos. 200, okay, get admission. I used GPEP, so it means I skipped the whole 100 level and went straight to 200 level. And I think that was where everything literally started. Meeting the first SP president then, which happens till now, is still my friend. So like the first SP president when I gained in admission, till now, he's still one of my very good mentors, still someone I still reach out to when I'm in need, or when I'm in need or I need clarity for things. So it's there. So when you talk about the role of mentorship, I would say mentorship really played like a very critical role in helping me to like see possibilities that I could not yet imagine for myself. Would I have thought that immediately I graduated, I would have seen a job? No. Would I have thought that while I was in school in 200 level, 300 level, I should have already started working for international companies? No. Would I have thought that I would have gotten all these multiple scholarships and all? No. But what really guided me was mentorship. It's made me to really avoid some avoidable mistakes, whereby the mistakes I was meant to have the mistakes I should have made. You understand? My mentors helped me to see how to path a better pathway for myself. Now, even till now, I'm still not perfect. I've still not gotten to where I am at. You understand? So mentorship really helped me to see the bigger picture of things in my life, how to navigate more decisions with confidence. Mentorship really makes you to not really dwell on your failures, but think ahead that it's kind of like a redirection to a bigger picture and a bigger purpose. So for we students, how can you really actively seek meaningful mentors? You really need to know yourself within. Ask yourself, what do I like? What do I want to do? Do I want to continue engineering and then after graduation? So when you are able to introspect, you get to understand yourself better. You're now able to map out, okay, who are the kind of people that I want as mentors? Who do I want to reach out to as mentors? And another thing is we should not really get misguided that all mentors need to be people way ahead in the industry, you understand? So I would say that was how mentorship really started in my career, and how you students can actually seek meaningful mentorship. When there is introspection, when you're able to really know yourself, you'll be able to target who exactly you want as your mentors. And that was the way I started. I started getting mentors from my seniors in other levels, because I saw that when I was in 200 level, my first goal was to actually finish well in school. So that was the kind of mentors I started getting first. First, who are people that would make me to succeed from 200 level to 300 level? You understand? So I was able to capture some friends, you understand, some mentors there. And as I moved to different levels, you understand, I was able to already understand what was going to happen in those levels. Now I've left school and I'm in the industry. I still am still into mentorship. Luckily for me, I was selected for the SP Lagos mentorship. So that's to tell you that mentorship does not end. It's like a lifelong journey, because your life choices change, your career decisions change. So you want to be able to map out or navigate how to actually overcome that journey. So yes, that is how the role of mentorship has shaped my career, and how you students can actually seek meaningful mentors. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I don't know why you guys are not excited. I don't know why you guys are not excited. Like from the very beginning, even if you had not seen the ending yet, you already knew, okay, at this point in time, this is what I want to achieve. So these are the people I'm going to look forward to give me advice and to guide me. And that's something that is very, because I don't think, as for me, I don't think I actually did that. I don't think I did that. We're just going through life hoping that things are all right. But anyhow, I'll be going to the second question now. Second question is, how do you evaluate opportunities early in your career when you don't yet know what you want long term? Like I just said it now that you may not have foresaw the future, or you may not have foreseen the future. I think that's the proper word to use. You may not have foreseen the future, but how did you evaluate opportunities early in your career when you did not yet know what you wanted long term?
Okay, this is actually a very interesting question. So I think probably a question to everybody in the house. Firstly, did Donald Trump envision seeing himself as the president of USA? Did Tinubu envision seeing himself as president of Nigeria? Did Iweala see herself becoming the Director General for World Trade Organization? You understand? So they probably already saw they could reach that pathway. They already saw that they could reach that limit. But looking back probably 10 years ago, they would have probably said they should give themselves probably extra 5 to 10 years to achieve that goal. So firstly, I want to say everybody really have a little insight to what they want to become. You might not exactly have the clear picture, but you might actually know what you want to become. Firstly, if I ask everybody in this room, who wants to be great? Can anyone just raise their hands? Who wants to be great? I would probably see everyone raising their hands. I want to be great. Who wants to be the president? Who wants to be the governors? Everybody raising up their hands, you understand? So in all, everyone envisions seeing themselves achieving the highest in which they can, you understand? But evaluating opportunities early in our career, I would say, while you're all are still students, I would say early in your career first is studentship. Studentship is your first career. So early in your career, I would say the goal is not to find the perfect role. When I started in University of Lagos, I was a student, you understand? Then moved up to become the PRO of Society of Women Engineers, ranked up, pushed to become the PRO of SP Unilag, went on to become the assistant coach rep of my class, went ahead to become one of the directors of one of the largest energy conference in the country. Well, yes, I would say in the country, the industry discourse. So early in my studentship career, I was not aiming to find the perfect role. I wanted to become the president, you understand? If at that point, that was like the perfect role in which I was seeing myself when I was still in school, or did that happen? No. Did that really limit what I could achieve? No. So early in our career, the goal is not to find the perfect role, but it's to maximize learning. It's funny how, because I was the PRO of Society of Women Engineers, I was able to learn one or two things. I used that to kickstart the journey into PRO of SP Unilag. Even from being a PRO of SWE, I was able to host the first program, which really, I think, threw me into the spotlight for public speaking, or that was where I started from, you understand? So I tried not to find the perfect role, but instead I tried to really maximize learning to the highest, you understand? So when I maximized that learning, I was now able to evaluate opportunities based on three things: what I want to learn, or what I will learn, who will I learn from, and whether the experience builds transferable skills. I think that is really the beauty of engineering. Engineering really make you to build up different skills that can be transferred anywhere and everywhere. As when I was in school, I don't know if it's the same in all engineering programs, but I had to do economics courses, so I could easily pivot into economics, you understand, as a lifelong career. I did law, contracts law. It's very easy for me to actually start building a career in that pathway. I did business courses. I did courses relating to mechanical engineering. So engineering really gives you that opportunity to build transferable skills. So these are like the three things. Hello, sorry, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I think I would just switch off my camera for now. I think the bandwidth is having slight issues. So please just confirm if you can still hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes. So the way I evaluated opportunities was based on three things: what I will learn, who I will learn from, and whether the experience builds transferable skills. So when I was taking in all those volunteering experiences, I was already like, what will I learn? I already knew that my course of study was going to teach me the technical aspect of things, but I knew that those volunteering experiences would teach me the soft skills needed now in the industry. So I was able to navigate or get what I will learn. So I went for that. Who will I learn from? I learned from my peers. I learned from industry professionals, because while you are in that role, you're really open to meeting people in the industry, people of high caliber, you understand, not exactly people in your circle, that it takes a while for you to meet them, but through that volunteering experience, I was able to do that. So I was able to capture who I would learn from. That was when I knew that, okay, based on what I like, I saw the first person. I was like, you know what? This person has to be my mentor. And that was how everything really started. And now I saw that would the experience build transferable skills? Oh, it's really deep, because at work, I have to do like I have some deliverables. Some of those deliverables would actually use to presentation of the energy concept, or the energy, the let me just say the presentation of presentation at work. So transferable skills when I was in university really helped me to do that. So with those three criteria, I was able to really evaluate opportunities early, even though I was not able to picture where those opportunities will lead me to. You understand? And another thing is that if an opportunity stretches you and exposes you to real world problems, then that is the kind of opportunity you would really tend to appreciate. You would not call that a waste, you understand, because it is really molding you into real world readiness. Because when you are in school, I feel school is more of like um, school does not really show your full capabilities, because you have a proper timeline that you're following. You know that, oh, I have classes by 8 to 10 is probably PHS 101, from 10 to 12 is either PHS 204, you understand? So school doesn't really show your full capabilities, but those experiences you get to garner in school really expose you to the real world problem. So I think that's how I've been able to like evaluate opportunities early in my career. From from the introspection, getting to know the little things I like, then I use these three things to kind of evaluate these opportunities that I see, because Google AI tools, you literally can see 1,001 opportunities, but is it all opportunities you would apply for? Is it all opportunities you will shoot your shot for? No, it's not possible. You will end up being drained. Depression can even occur. But when you're able to evaluate those opportunities with these three things I've said, then I believe you'll be able to position yourself properly for the career. So yes, thank you, Favor.
All right, thank you. I'm just going to clap for you, because one thing that you said that you even kept repeating that I have already written down. You said that you all right, sorry about that. There was one thing that you kept on saying that I really had to just quickly write down. You said, what am I learning? Who am I learning from? And whether these experiences can build transferable skills. And that just made me evaluate all what I have been learning so far in and out of classes in SP and every other club or society that I've ever put my work into. What was I learning? Who was I learning from? And did the skills I gather, were they transferable skills? Ah, in that little time that you just educated me, really, I had to go back. I had to go far back. And I know that the introspection that I have to do is a lot. And I'm really hoping that everyone is on this call is having this epiphany the same way I am as well. But not to take too much of our time, I'll be going on to the third question. The third question we have is, what mistakes do you see young engineers repeatedly make when preparing for the job market? What mistakes do you see young engineers repeatedly make when preparing for the job market?
Okay. I think I would actually tweak that question a little, and I would frame it as, what mistakes do you see students repeatedly make when preparing for the job market, or for the next big thing after school? Because I know that people that I'm talking to, we are still currently in schools. So yes, we can call ourselves engineers because it's not easy. 5 years in school, yes, we are actually young engineers, but I'll frame it as what mistakes do you say students repeatedly make? Firstly, some common mistakes that students make, I'll say firstly, is trying to get involved and apply for everything they see on campus. So, oh, there's a volunteering opportunity here, you run. I want to apply. Or they are looking for the role of communications person, you run, you want to apply. Or they are looking for a banker here, you run, you want to apply. At the end, you end up saying that you are literally not learning anything because you are not able to perform to your full capacity, to your full capability. You are not putting in your best in everything. So you end up seeing that you are overwhelmed, you are confused, you're not even really able to position yourself to understand what do you actually like. So I know that right now, this is a period whereby we need to make a lot of mistakes, you understand, because if you do not make mistakes, you understand, you really do not, you're not able to position yourself not to ever make that mistakes. We are really at the age of making the mistakes. Making a crucial mistake now, probably in your 40s or 50s, you understand, will yield to or will lead to had I know, you get. But this is a period whereby we make mistakes. But then sometimes some of these mistakes is really nice for it to be like calculated mistakes in the sense that do not apply for everything. The pressure is real. And before volunteering, I think our first essence of going into school is to graduate. You understand, but that does not mean that you would need not to participate in anything. So that is one. Secondly, another mistake is focusing only on grades. Now, I know I already have said do not apply for everything. And I know someone is already saying she's contradicting herself because now she's telling us not just to only focus on grades, but then she's saying that we should not apply for everything. Which one should we do? So it's so when I say do not focus only on grades, at the end, when you graduate, you come out and you're like, okay, I finished with the first class, I finished with a 2-1-2-2. What else can I write in my CV? Or what else can I position myself? When I finished school, I did not submit a CV to get the job. You understand? It was through a WhatsApp call, or was it a WhatsApp message? And we are like, when are you finishing? Are you interested in this? Now that's ready to show that I already have been able to capture them with the kind of skills I could give, with the kind of skills I could deliver. Now imagine I was everywhere, probably banking area, financial area, this or that, you understand? I would not have been able to be in the right room to capture the person that called me for this job. Now, I think right now, probably for people in 400 level, 500 level, I'll try to say that we already have little clarity on some of the little things that we like. Some of us are studying engineering, but then we love entrepreneurship. You understand? We want to be that entrepreneurs and everything. Now, this is something really beautiful because you get to transfer the engineering skills into your entrepreneurship to build yourself. Now you already know that what are some of the skills you need to have as an entrepreneur. You need to have communication. And how would you have gotten communication? Ordinarily applying to 2 volunteering or 3 volunteering activities in your school would really make you build that communication. You do not have to apply to 1001 things to have communication skills or teamwork skills or problem solving skills. You understand? So so that is it. Like now, in my own case, I really was strategic about what I wanted. I really was strategic about the groups I volunteered for. I already knew that firstly, I was really interested in the energy sector. Like you literally cannot see, well, probably it has reduced now, but when I was still in school, I really tried to attend a lot of energy events, energy conferences. Also, I already knew that I wanted to make use of the digital tools now to innovate that sector that I liked. Now, crowning both sectors or on the top is just to make an impact, social impact. Want to make an impact? How can I assist the next person? Because I was watching an interview by Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. I don't know if any of us know her. She's currently the Director General of World Trade Organization. She's like the first woman, the first African to hold this position. So when I was watching that interview, she said something. She said that service to others, you do not just get educated for yourself, but to serve others. Now, that is why the area of impact and social impact really stays with me, because I'm like, I literally have gone to school for 5 years. I literally have built myself, but for who at the end is just to serve others. You understand? So those are like the two major mistakes that students really make repeatedly, not even once or twice. I know that after this course, some of us will still end up making the same mistakes. Please, let's try to introspect. Try to just visualize and drop all the volunteering activities that we're doing and look, okay, I'm volunteering for SP. What am I getting from SP? At the end, will I be able to make use of anything from SP? I go, LSH, what can I get? I go. You end up seeing that you are literally getting repeated skills from each of this volunteering society, from each of these societies. And then next we're going to ask yourself, why not just I stick to one or two, really grow there, really allow people to see what I can do there, come up with innovative sessions or programs, and then you end up saying that you are really making your light to shine. You're really making that full impact than being in 1001 and then you're really not able to give in your all. Literally, that is what that is going on now as being the YP, the technical lead for SP YP Leaguer. So some of those visions I had while I was still in school, now I'm able to implement them, but now on a higher scale. That is because one person or two people saw what I was doing while I was still back in school. And I think the last one is the last mistake we all do is we are waiting, or we are always waiting too long to gain practical experience. Oh, I don't have an internship, so I cannot do this. Oh, I don't have this project, so I cannot do this. Like, nobody's going to wait for you to get all those skills. You understand? Right now, everybody, all industry, all companies are trying to get engineers who can apply knowledge and not just recite it. Nobody wants the bookworms only now. They want, okay, you have this knowledge, but can you put it into practice? So please, right now in school, your projects, you understand, might not be very large, but you can walk up to your lecturers, sir, I have this and this. For people that probably want to write technical papers, sir, I have this idea. I don't know how to go about it. Do you mind, or would you like to assist me in this? Or sir, I want to become, like, you can be a research assistant right now as you're in 200 level, 300 level. You understand? Everything is, you just need to show that you want that. You want that. You want to be able to achieve that. For people into tech, you understand, AI and machine learning, data science, data analytics, product management, start building courses. They are open sources, contribute. Right now, there is no time to waste. Nobody would wait for you. So I'll say those are like the three major mistakes that I see students, not students in quotes, younger engineers make repeatedly. And I hope you all change your idea on how you view things as relating to all of this. So yes, thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. You know, one thing that a lot of students fall into, I'm speaking for myself, and I'm sure a good number of people on this call here right now, is that they fall for this fear of missing out. FOMO, yes, that's what it is, FOMO. They don't want to miss out on everything that is going on in each and every one of these clubs and societies. Although they may be very similar because it's within the engineering body, there are still nuances here and there that they just want to be a part of. They don't want to miss out on these things. They don't want to miss out on new information, content information, and then the community that it brings. Which then brings me to my next question. How do you stay relevant and adaptable in a constantly evolving industry? Again, how do you stay relevant and adaptable in a constantly revolving industry?
How do you stay relevant and adaptable in a constantly evolving industry? I'll say that every industry is evolving. Now, every industry is moving into digitalization. There is that proliferation of data going on in all industries. Like the economics industry, they are making use of AI tools. They're trying to look how can AI tools optimize our processes in the energy industry, in the medical industry. Funny how today, after the whole hustle and bustle of the week, I was like, let me just sit down and go through Netflix. And I started watching The Good Doctors. I know that a lot of people would have watched that, but I started watching and I was able to see how 3D, you understand, is used in the medical field. Now, I literally have, I've heard about it, you understand, and all. And it's funny how I sat down and I was actually seeing how they were 3D printing femur, you understand, to be fixed into the patient's body. And I was like, oh wow, exactly. And I really know a very good friend of mine who is very good into this 3D printing. So I was already like saying that is already one adaptable skills that he can pass on into any industry, you understand. The medical field, the energy field, that's already one adaptable skills. So how do you want to stay relevant? How do you want to be adaptable in the constant evolving industry? Firstly, is commitment to continuous learning. Learning is lifelong. There is no limit to which you learn. You understand? See me watching a medical movie because I really love, apart from energy industry, my movies, I really love law and medical movies, you understand? So that already is like a continuous learning to me. I was hearing vena cava, all of those things and all, you understand? I can go outside and just mention the words, oh, vena cava, and they look at me and they're like, this girl is smart. I'm giving them that smart attitude because well, I don't know what it means, but then being in a room trying to mention some medical words as an engineer, you understand? It's awesome. Now that is continuous learning. I did not pick up the encyclopedia to get that. I learned from what I enjoy, watching movies, you understand? So you need to stay relevant by committing to continuous learning, which means I need to do everyone, including me, I need to update my skills. Yesterday, I was using Excel at work and I was like, wow, I thought I stopped this, but I saw Excel was faster process than using Python. Apart from trying to update my skills or trying to update our skills, we need to be curious about new tools and trends. You understand? If I ask anybody now, if you want to write a paper and you're giving 2 topics, write on the usage of to-go and write on the usage of Instagram. Which are we going to pick? I'm sure everybody would run to write on Instagram. Why? You are in the trend. That is the trend of what is happening. So it means you are able to get proper data, proper insights on how Instagram is than to go. I don't exactly know if you can still download to go to be able to write a paper on that. So you are not able to stay updated with the trend if you are writing a paper on to go. But if you're writing on Instagram, you are already staying updated. You're already curious on how Instagram is looking like. Ordinarily, you can even turn to a product designer and say, like, what new feature can Instagram retrofit into their existing app to make it better? You understand? And that is also giving you room now to be willing to unlearn outdated approaches. Nobody on this call can tell me they've never used ChatGPT, they've never used Gemini, they've never used Claude or all other LLM tools. You understand? We are actually outdating. We are literally outdating the previous process of using just Google as the random search. You understand? To make our search, but we're making use of tools. We are making use of how to just really stay curious about these new tools. And lastly, adaptability comes from building strong fundamentals. For instance, even though we are in the proliferation of data age, digitalization, I'm a petroleum engineer, so forgive me for people that might not understand this law that I'm about to mention, but Darcy law still remains Darcy law. You cannot remove Darcy law from fluid flowing porous media, even if you are making use of your AI, your ML, and everything. You understand? Any model you want to build, you get as related to fluid flow, you still have to understand the principle or the understanding of what Darcy law is all about and how Darcy law relates to that, because core principles eventually last even when technologies change. When Google came out, you understand, without understanding what Darcy law is, if you look it up, you're kind of like confused. Now we have ChatGPT, we have machine learning. If I want to build a model, if I don't understand what Darcy law is, will I be able to write the codes on how to ensure that it does what I need? Because it is garbage in, garbage out. So these are some of the ways everyone really needs to stay relevant. You really need to stay adaptable in a constantly evolving industry. You understand? Ensure you are regularly updating your skills. Stay curious about new tools and trends. Be willing to learn, unlearn, relearn, unlearn outdated approaches, learn new trends, relearn the new things that you've learned. You understand? So, and always understand the core principles of things. So thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I have one last question before we now throw about 2 more questions to the audience so that they can have the time to set out their own curiosities to you. The last question that I have for you is, if you were mentoring a student who feels behind or unsure of their path, what practical steps would you ask them to take in the next 6 months? If you were mentoring a student who feels behind or unsure of their path, what practical steps would you ask them to take in the next 6 months?
This question feels like yesterday. So just let me just take us back to my school days. So while I was in school, I had a lot of my juniors always going, "Oh, mentor Michael, come and mentor me." I know. And at the back of my head, I'm always like, what do I have actually to mentor? To mentor you all. You understand? Like, do I actually see myself as a mentor? But I've come to realize that when you're talking about mentorship, mentorship really covers 3 core areas. You understand? Before the 3 core areas, firstly, changing the mindset of who our mentors need to be. You understand? Is really going to be very good. It's really going to be helpful in our life. I had mentors who were my peers, like my course mates were my mentors. My course mates were my mentors. My age mates were my mentors. You understand? So, firstly, changing that mindset of who your mentor is would really take you far in life. Now, before I answer the question about mentoring a student who feels behind or unsure of their paths, I think firstly, I want us to first understand when we're talking about mentorship covers 3 facets. We have a sponsor, a coach, and a mentor. I know those 3 distinct roles are roles we've all heard in any conversation about mentorship, because it helps you to give um, proper division of things and what you need to expect from that person. You understand? So that when things happen, you do not feel so that when things happens, you do not just feel as if you've not been able to capture or get the best of what is meant to happen. So firstly, sponsor. A sponsor advocates for you and open doors. A sponsor is a person that is like in the highest room where you want to be, and the person is there to call your name when they are suggesting, who do you want to who do you think we can give this contract to? That was what happened in my own case. Someone who I thought was just a friend, or yes, someone that was in the industry, you understand? I think close to 12, 13 years in the industry. Funny how I just met the person once or twice physically. The person just knew me from LinkedIn, and the person was able to advocate for me in the room. You understand? The person was like, you know what? Michael will be able to deliver this job. Let me just ask her if she wants. And that was how everything was. So I did not know that I had somebody in the back doors calling my name for opportunities. Now, that is who your sponsor is. Your sponsor will advocate for you and open doors. Open doors that you thought could not be opened right in any area of your life. That is who your sponsor is. Next is your coach. Football or anybody interested in football, you already know who is your coach. Your coach will help you to improve specific skills and your performance. Your coach will tell you, learn this course and this course. It will sharpen your skills in here. I literally have someone that I ran to when I started the whole research journey, trying to like write technical papers, how to understand the whole area. I had someone there. So they're able to help me improve my specific skills. Looking at the first paper that I wrote then, and probably what I wrote in my final year thesis, you understand, there's a big difference. Because I think I said writing paper when I was in 200 or 300 level. So there's a difference. I can see that I've improved. And I know that in the next 5 years, when I look at papers written my first paper to my final year thesis, I would see a lot of changes. A friend of mine is currently doing his master's, and I was like, but the paper you wrote as at then is very good. It was like, that rubbish. And it just made me to laugh that he has improved his skills through his coach. So that is who a coach is. Lastly, mentor. A mentor is someone who will share wisdom, experience, and long-term guidance. So please do not expect your mentor to be someone who would help you financially. That is why I wanted to bring up those 3 distinct truths to be able to answer that question. Because if you come to meet me for mentorship, please, I don't have daily 2K to be giving every day. I don't have daily 50K to be giving. You understand? I don't have 100K to be giving. So having this understanding of this distinct truth help you to really navigate who exactly you need and how exactly you position yourself to them. At any part of your life, you already know. Am I looking for a coach? Am I looking for a mentor? Am I looking for a sponsor? Right now, I'm looking for a sponsor. So if any of you are ready to be my sponsors, you understand, I would also mind. So right now, I know some of the facets or these rules that I'm looking for. So now, to answer your question, so in case I give you wisdom based on my own experience, please take it as that, because that is who a mentor is. So if I were to mentor a student who feels behind or unsure of their paths, what practical steps would I give? Firstly, I need to change the student's mindset of FOMO, like you said, fear of missing out. Everybody is looking at their peers. Their peers are doing mad things. So people have already landed job in Tesla. So people are already working in the big 3s in consulting. So we are always afraid that, oh my God, look at my peers, see what they've done, see where I am at. You understand? So we need to change our mindset about that, because Funny how if you look at yourself probably 3, 4 years ago, you'll be like, you've actually achieved things. It might be little, but you already know that you are not at the position where you started from. Now, that mindset, you need to re-engineer your mindset to drop the concept of fear of missing out. You understand? Because you really want to focus on progress and not comparison. Comparison really kills. You understand? They say it's not about how you start the journey, but how you finish it. It might take you, for instance, now let's talk about what's that famous guy? Is he KFC? Is it KFC or one burger joint? But it took him how many years? You understand? Look at our famous scientists for life. It took him how many trials? 99 times. So we need to actually focus on progress and not comparison. Then next is introspection. Like I always try to say that, introspect. What do you like? There's somebody in currently, anytime she runs into my DM, you understand, I always try to have that time for her. Why? Because I see in her myself of how many years ago, trying to stay curious about things, trying to wonder about things, how to go about things, and all, you understand. So that is how your mentor always try to look at you. They try to look at, I was actually this person 25 years ago. I was actually this person 20 years ago. So they try to understand where you are coming from and then give you advice that is to help you and not to deflate or kill your dreams, you understand, or your aspirations. So next is, I will kind of like suggest building or joining one practical project. Now that will help you to reaffirm the technical skills that you understand, reaffirm the technical skills that you have, build new technical skills, you understand. Then connect with professionals in your field, because they say connection is really is really one big thing you need in the industry. You might not have the perfect CGPA, you might not have the perfect portfolio, but you see that connect. If you have that connect, it will take a very, very long way. You understand? So I'll try to connect that person with at least 2 professionals in their field of interest. And then I would deliberately strengthen one key skill. Like, what skill do you know that if I strengthen, if they put you in the midst of any other person, you would always stand out? Is it communication? Do you have one badass communication skills that if I put you in front of what's our famous MC for SB9's conference, if I put you together with him, you'll be able to defeat him. You understand? That will really make you stand out. It means you've finally become master of one skill, and then you are building up others. And then we'll end up seeing that at least trying to position the student with all of these things that I've mentioned, will end up seeing small, consistent actions. You understand? It's better to, for instance, if I'm learning French, it's better for me to learn French every day for 10 minutes than to learn French 1 hour in 1 month. The next 3 months, I come back to learn French. You need to be consistent. So small, consistent actions over 6 months span, you understand, can completely change that student's confidence, completely change that person's direction. So please, in these 6 months, don't look for 2K or 5K or 10K. You understand? So thank you very much for the question. I hope I've been able to answer the question. Favor, I don't know if Favor is still on the call. Or okay, she's on the call.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. My network went off for a minute. Sorry about that. All right, Miss Mike. Sorry, Miss Michael. Thank you so much for that. Does anybody have any question? No, so far. Does anybody have? Because I actually have a few, but I just said let me give you guys chance to actually ask any questions that you may have. Any questions you've had in concerning engineering, mentorship, how to go forward in your career. I know that majority, hopefully actually, majority of people that are studying engineering are going to advance to be engineering professionals, and they're not just going to toss their degree to the side, hopefully. So any questions you have, please table them now. Well, I have one question, and this is a personal question. This is not a formally prepared question. What I want to ask is, how can one participate in, let's just say, writing technical papers or building projects to solidify one's skills and to know exactly like what they're doing and where they're going? Because in my case, I do not necessarily have the skills to do this thing, but the interest is there. And also trying to meet people that are doing these things that I aspire to do has not just always worked out well. For some reason, not for some reason, but like for one reason or the other, these people I go to meet, it just doesn't work out. I just can't build anything with them for a reason. So how can I work on that by myself? I don't have the skills that I want yet, but I want to build them so that I can, what's the word? Better my chances in the engineering field.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so to answer the question, I'll say firstly, the people who you go to meet, are they your peers or are they your seniors?
They're usually my peers.
Okay. So that is the first question. Secondly, have you ever attended any technical paper session? I know SB Lagos have done 1001. Probably your chapter should have even done, even if it's not your chapter, any other chapters who have done anything on technical writing, have you been able to attend?
Yes, I have. It's just that these topics I would like to write about is not something that is well explored yet that I can see. It's not just well explored yet, as far as I can see.
Okay. So for you to actually know that it's not very well explored, it means you've actually done your research on that area, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So your response is not confident, but irrespective. So firstly, this is where you have your lecturers. So I don't know if the unexplored area you're talking about is any field of your lecturers. Those are like the people you can meet with, understand. That was like my first step towards that. I first met my lecturer, understand, and I told him about it, and he was like, you know what, why don't you give it a shot? And then I took that. I met my friend who happened to be my senior at that time, and I was like, oh, that's very nice, why not you try? And after I did all of that, or passed the first stage and everything, then I ran to LinkedIn. Until now, that person has continued to mentor me in that part. I ran into LinkedIn and I was like, there's this person I really like. She's into all of this technical writing. She's a professor. She's all of this. And I ran into LinkedIn. First ever time I've never seen her. But I saw that years back. She taught in University of Lagos. So I ran into her and I explained the condition and everything. And that was how everything started. She gave me contact and I started, spared me some minutes just to check on what I've done. And that was how, boom, I came up with one massive, interesting paper that we both wrote together. So why am I saying all of this? I know that this ideas that I'm giving you is not something that might work for you, but it's something you can explore first. So firstly, talk to your lecturers. Secondly, since you already said your peers are not responsive, but I'm sure that on this call now, having everyone hear you come out to say this, you eventually see that there are some there are other people's now, probably from other departments, that might even have an interest in writing the unexplored field that you went to. And that is how it starts. And then LinkedIn, like, do not be shy. Go into LinkedIn and explore the world to get who you think would be the right person for you. Apart from that, I think even Dr. Chukwemeke would really be happy to have you, you understand? So I think those are like some of the tips you can actually make use of right now. And at the end, you can just get to give me like a progress report, and I can try to see if there are other ways you can now go about it. But yes, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Thank you very much. Yes, it does. Okay, I doubt anyone else has any other question. So I'm going to go on with my second question, because this is something that I'm quite, I wouldn't say passionate about, but something I'm very well interested in. The question is, what is a professional reality about engineering careers that you can only understand after entering the industry and which students were told earlier?
So can you come again? What is a professional reality?
Yes, what is a professional reality about engineering careers that you can only understand after entering the industry and which students were told earlier?
Deep. That is deep. So I would say I wish I had known that. I wish I had known earlier that careers are really linear. So there is no one pathway in any career. Like, many engineers change roles, industries, or specializations over time, because if you see, some of us might not be working in the core oil and gas industry. You might end up in the renewables area. Some of us can end up in the finance area. You understand? This is why it is good for us early on to start building these transferable skills. You understand? So when you end up seeing yourself changing roles, industries, or specializations over time, please, it is normal. Do not fret and be like, oh, that is not what I want to do, or stuff like that. You understand? I'm not in the core oil and gas industry, but literally what I'm doing right now, I've come to see that I enjoy it. You understand? It's into different forms of energy. I get to play with renewables. I get to play with oil and gas. You understand? Both conventional and unconventional energies you get. So it might not be the core reservoir engineering or drilling engineering, but I get to see other areas of the energy mix. I even get to dabble a little in energy finance. You understand? So like, it's a lot of interesting concepts in the energy industry being thrown at me. So when you see that you're changing roles over time, please, it is normal. For us going for NYSC, you end up saying that you are thrown into to teach. Please, that does not mean that you end up being a teacher. But then if it's something you can change, you can change. But if it's not something that you can change, please just try to embrace that journey. You end up saying that it's one journey that when you look back, you laugh and you're like, oh my God, that really was a funny time. Because I've come to realize that success is less about having everything figured out. No one can say they are currently successful, you understand? Because success is less about having everything figured out early, and more about staying open to changes, staying open to roles, staying open to new duties. You understand? Just staying open and committed to learning and service, and at the long run, impact. Be able to leave an indelible mark wherever you go to make that impact. So I would say that is one of the reality. Please, there is no job, no industry, no career that is linear. That's why you end up seeing some agricultural people working in the bank and all of that. No career is linear. So yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. It does. Yes. Thank you very much for this session, Miss Michal. It made me think deeply. It made me think, I don't even know. It just made me brood I just had to think about everything I had indulged in from my very first year up until now, my fourth year, and how to get better, how to go. Because right now, I'm in my fourth year, getting into IT placements and things like that. This has made me evaluate everything a whole lot from a fresher and a much more different perspective. But this is only my testimony. I really cannot speak for everyone else here, but I know for a fact that every single person on this call is also transformed in however little way. They are also transformed from everything you have told us here today, from your experiences. Thank you so much, Miss Michal. Please, I know your hands aren't tired. Please just show appreciation to Miss Michal, because it was so lovely having you here. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope you all enjoyed my 2 cents and from my own experiences. So thank you so much, SP Lasso, for having me.
Yes, thank you, Ma. And in case we would like to reach you, is it okay to reach you on LinkedIn?
Yes, it is okay. Disclaimer, when you message, I might not be able to respond that day or the
Okay.
next day. You understand?
Okay.
So that everyone should just have that mindset. But I would always try to respond to messages. I might really respond to messages slowly, but I would always try to respond to your messages.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm sure we've all heard that. Thank you so much, Miss Michal. And it was was a fabulous time having you here with us. Okay, I think someone's raising their hand up. Mary Afolayan, do you have a question or a contribution? Mary Afolayan. All right, no problem, no problem. Okay, right now we'll be taking the closing remark by the VP1 of SP Lasso in person of Samiat Animashan. Samiat, are you on the call here with us?
Hello, can you all hear me? Yes, I'm on the call.
Yes, we can, but it seems like it's cracking a little bit. Yes, we can.
Hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Yes, we can.
And so thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Um, I'm so glad that you all showed. Yes. Yes. So on behalf of the Society of Engineers, SPLS chapter, I want to sincerely thank every single person who made today's engineering mentorship masterclass a success. First, a big thanks to our speaker. Yes, thank you so much, Miss Michal. You've shared, your experience, honest career lessons, practical guidance that many of us don't get in classrooms. Yes. And I also want to thank everyone who showed up here today.
Okay, I think today is just a day of internet interruptions, and that's very unfortunate. I'm very sorry about that, guys. I think I'm just going to wrap up for her. Yeah, we'll just like on behalf of SP so we'll just like to thank everyone that made out time today to attend today's webinar. I hope that today's webinar transformed you. Actually, today's masterclass, I'd better correct myself. Today's masterclass transformed you and made you a better person and a better engineer. So with that, we are going to participate in the SP Lasso ritual, where we take a photo at the end of our webinars. So if you're not too shy, grab a light and let's take a picture to commemorate this